You got some good Mexicans. Then there are human beings that happen to be Mexicans that are influenced by a bad, evil spirit. I hate the bad spirit, but I don't hate the Mexican. God bless all the good Mexicans. I used to call all Mexican dudes S.A. What's up, S.A.? What's up, S.A.? And I remember this one dude with perfect English. He said, "What did you just call me?" And I was like, I didn't know what he was. I'm like, S.A. He kind of rolled his eye. He took a deep breath. He realized I was a little kid. He said, "I am a Mexicano." He says, "I am not a cholo. I'm a respectable man that goes to work and does all these things." And I didn't realize I was insulting him. So I had to get better. I spoke on some things and whatever. A good Mexican don't want to call me the N-word. You got freedom of speech. Do what you want to do. But it does trip me out when you want to take your freedom of speech and disrespect me. But that is what it is. Thanks for identifying yourself. And I love you. And you can always upgrade. Right on. God bless you.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some snack habits. Bye. Bye. Let's get to the intro because we got a lot to talk about. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate your support. I'm very humbled by it. So back to the drawing board. Que no, Afroman? Afroman has decided to issue a lightweight apology for some of the derogatory statements he made directed at the raza, right? Specifically Lefty Gunplay, feeling that Lefty Gunplay wasn't worthy of a Grammy Award, or feeling that maybe Lefty Gunplay was spoon-fed that Grammy Award. Either way, he's got it. He has it. He's running with it. Hey, and we'll see what he does in the future. But Afroman got a lot of harsh critiques because of the words that came out of his mouth. And I kind of understand him. Now, after he's issued this apology, and his explanation has went a long way in my mindset of thinking, right? And I understand how people feel about other ethnicities saying the N-word. I don't like it. I never have liked it. I see any Mexican using the N-word and they try to make an excuse why they're using it. Oh, I grew up around blacks. I know blacks that don't say the N-word. Oh, I grew up in the ghetto. So what are you saying? All Mexicans and blacks are ghetto? You know, there's always an excuse for why someone says what they say. But the only thing you can do is accept the responsibility for what comes out of your mouth. Now, that doesn't mean every single brother, man, every black man feels disrespected when a Mexican or a white or an Asian or a Uso says the N-word. But there are those that do. Just like there are Mexicanos in the story that Afroman told that felt some type of way about being called the word essay. Now, is essay a derogatory term? No, but it's the way that you say it. Okay, that's just like Mexican and saying Mexican. If you say Mexican, hey, at first thought, it's kind of like, okay, maybe they don't know how to say the word Mexican. Then when you hear someone say Mexican and they spit it and they spew it out of their mouth, it's like, okay, that's a disrespectful term at that point, right? Now, when I hear a lot of Mexicans, Chicanos, anyone saying the N-word, I kind of cringe at it because I don't like it. I didn't grow up that way. I wasn't raised in my household to say that word. I was explained at a very young age exactly what that word meant, and that it was meant to ridicule, certain people, black and brown. Again, like I said in my last video, man, when I talked about the Afroman thing, those colored signs on those bathrooms back in those 60s and those 50s didn't just pertain to blacks, man. Colored meant people of color, and brown is definitely a color, right? So Mexicans were treated along those harsh lines just like blacks were. So we got a lot of a lot of common we got a lot of common things that we went through, a lot of bullshit that we all went through as a people, right? And when I see blacks and browns arguing or fighting or disrespecting each other, I just shake my head, because at the end of the day, you know, we've all went through bullshit. We all should come together, and with an understanding that, hey, no one is better than anyone else. No one is smarter. No one is the creator of all. No, none of that matters. And it goes back and forth. I see blacks and browns in the comments arguing over who started what, what the hip hop genre, who it belongs to, who started it, why they started it. Like, it doesn't matter who started it. It's here now, and it's here for everybody to embrace. All cultures you should learn about. You should educate yourselves into understanding. Afroman seems very educated. Did it seem like he was taking a diss at the Mexicanos, at the Raza, when he talked about La Bamba? Absolutely. And it was, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't be issuing this apology. He wouldn't be explaining himself. See, I learned a long time ago that if you don't have nothing, if you didn't say anything bad, then why explain yourself? I also learned a long time ago from a righteous OG, don't explain yourself at all. What's said is said. Just deal with the consequences. You made your bed, now lay in it. Okay? One thing I could say about Afroman was he took a lot of criticism. And there was also a lot of people that were backing his play, specifically the black community. But there were some brown people that were backing his play, because those are the same people that are like me, that don't like the N-word being utilized by anybody. But I think it goes more so into the fact that we are conscious of the fact that the younger generation is losing their identity. They're losing their grip and grasp on the history that so many have died for and fought for. That it's hard to realize that the world is changing and things are just what they are. I done a video a couple years ago, and it was called "The Brothers Have Won," right? Because I lived most of my lifestyle incarcerated, in prison, in the youth authority, in a prison of my own mind, right? Being institutionalized for several years before I finally broke free of them chains and realized, man, I couldn't live like that on the streets. I'm on the streets now. I don't need a salt pie. I need a steak, right? But it took a long time to get an understanding. And in prison, specifically the California system, where racial lines are drawn in the sand, you need to understand that day after day, this is instilled and indoctrinated into you, that you are better than that other ethnicity, that you can't eat after them, can't drink water after them, can't sell up with them. These are the type of things that are taught to you, and you never ask the specific reasons. You're just supposed to know, right? And this is taught from every angle and every side. So living like that, I took from that specifically myself, like, why are we trying to run around and act black, right? The brothers used to say a long time ago, man, that their culture was a beautiful culture, just like the Mexicans saying they're all proud and we're proud, right? And at the end of the day, I see a lot of people utilizing each other's cultures, not in a bad way, not stealing. That's the wrong word, stealing. No one's stealing nobody's culture, but they're adapting to their surroundings, their geographical makeup. They're adapting to, if you like something, you like it. If a brother started wearing Jordans and then I go to school and the next day I start wearing Jordans, is it stealing his style? No, it's adapting to his style. I like that style, right? Now, the N-word is a derogatory, mean word that was put and placed on this earth to basically belittle another group, right? And so anytime I see another ethnicity utilizing that word, saying, oh man, I'm just, I grew up around blacks, but out of everything and all the beautiful things that brothers do and all the beautiful things that the raza does and all the beautiful things that Asians and whites and Usos do, why do we adapt as a people to the worst thing possible? To the worst word, the most disrespectful word. I got like a hair right here. ¿Sabes qué? You know where she was at, right? Lay your head on my pillow. But you understand what I'm saying? Why do we as humankind adapt to the worst parts of humanity? The worst word. You could, if you like hip hop music, you can learn how to rap. If you like, playing basketball, which is universal, but the brothers be playing that shit well, then you could do that. There's a lot of beautiful things in the culture, the soul food, the music, the soul, period, right? You could adapt to, but instead, our younger generation is adapting to the N-word, right? And I understand where Afroman is coming from. He's getting tired of hearing it, not only from his own people, but especially from Mexicans. Now, he targeted Mexicans specifically, but I'm sure he meant everybody. Now, this man is from Palmdale. This dude grew up around Southsiders, Mexicanos, Cholos, and like that guy said, straight up Mexicanos. You know, when people hear the word ese, there's a lot of Mexicanos that take that as disrespect as well. Because see, the Mexican culture is much more bigger than just the cholos and the tattoo artists and the graffiti artists and you know the corridos. It's much bigger than that. It's a proud people that work hard, you know, a proud people that just want to raise their family in the best way possible. So I can understand them feeling like the word essay is painting them or putting them into a box. That all Mexicans are cholos, that just because you're Mexicano or you're a raza, you have to be a cholo, a Southsider, or a norteño, or whatever it is. And that's not the case, man. I got a lot of tios that were hard workers. Every morning they woke up. Guess what? I woke up and I put on the Ben Davises and the red t-shirt and the red paño. They woke up, put on their work boots, and got their ass to work. And you want to know how I ended up? I ended up as a fucking washed up ass YouTuber talking about my past gang life, and they're retired already with $1 million homes doing big things. Who was making the wrong choices? Okay, I was the ese or the N or whatever you want to call it, and they were the Mexicano. They were raza. Now, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of proud Mexicanos that are cholos. That is part of the estilo. That is part of the culture. But at the end of the day, that ain't all we have. That ain't what we should identify ourselves as. Just like in the black community, the brothers, man, that are hard workers, that go out there, that love their people, that are trying to do righteous, they ain't the N-word, right? You feel me? The ones that identify with the N-word are the ones that are out there killing each other, the ones that are out there, you know, stealing and robbing and doing bad to their own people. You know, ain't no one going to be worse to your people than your own people, people that look just like you. The black community is killing each other. The brown community is killing each other. It's just the world we live in, and it's been like that, and it's probably, unfortunately, going to stay like that. You know, I accept Afroman's apology because I realized that he identified that, A, the base of Mexicans that do fuck with him, that do support him, you know, felt some type of way. Anytime you try to take one person like he did Lefty Gunplay and then turn it into a whole thing of Mexicans, you know, this dude went as far as to saying that, you know, he couldn't kill them all. Why would you even want to go that route? You know, people that have supported your music, people that got love for you, you grew up around a certain group. If you hate, then just say it. Don't sugarcoat it, add preservatives, or beat around the motherfucking bush. That's how I feel, right? But Afroman went to the internet quick. Now, there's going to be naysayers, people that are going to say he did that because of the outcry, because people were tripping. Look, that man didn't have to say anything he didn't want to say. He took his time to air the opportunity to sit down, probably rethink what he said, because he kind of just jumped the gun on that interview and explained it. Now, again, he doubled down on the fact he doesn't like people saying the N-word. I get it. I respect it. I don't either, right? I don't like to see black men, brown men, green men, red men, pink men, yellow men, any men using that word because it's such a harsh word to use in comparisons to other words that are out there. If you can't expand your vernacular, if you can't expand your vocabulary, then you shouldn't be fucking talking at all. You know, anything you say, do it with intelligence. When you speak, speak to be not just speaking, but speak to be heard. And when everything that you're saying is derogatory and negative and foolish, then you're an incompetent person. And you've got nothing to say to me that I want to hear. Okay? And it don't matter what fucking ethnicity you are, what color you identify as. If you're talking bullshit, then it's bullshit. And guess what? It stinks. That's just the truth. The fact is, Afroman decided to apologize, and me as a brown person, I accept it. I accept it because I believe, honestly, man, that man got a lot more love for Mexicans than a lot of Mexicans got love for Mexicans. That's the truth. Same thing goes for the brothers, man. That's why we're killing our own people. That's why we're hurting our own people. That's why even on social media, on YouTube, as a brown Chicano content creator, man, it's hard to get ahead because my own people, people that look just like me, people that have been through the same struggles, people that have been in and out of prison, are in so much of a competition, right? Are in so much hatred mode all the time that it's just continuously people that look like me hating on me and hating on me and hating on me. I try to uplift the people. I fight back sometimes, man. I say some crazy shit, but at the end of the day, I got love for everybody. I want to see everyone prosper and win, but there are those that look just like me that are a raza that hate the fact that I exist. Crazy, ain't it? Look, I have much more to do in life than worry about what Afroman said. So does Lefty Gunplay. Meanwhile, while Afroman was talking about Lefty Gunplay and singing La Bamba and how Mexicans are saying the N-word, this and that, we all know. We all know. But like he said, and he put it out there, it ain't just Mexicans saying the N-word. There's also brothers that are saying the SA word. And some Mexicans take offense to that. You know, hey, I've been around brothers my whole life. Hey, SA. When I'm in the oil, you know, in the hole in prison, hey, SA. Can I read that magazine? Hey, SA. You know what I'm saying? Bro, can you pass this line down to the cell 101 or whatever? You know what I mean? It's always SA. I never took it as a form of disrespect because I understood that was just the way the brothers, man, that was their way of speaking to the raza. That's how they identified that word. Was SA meant the raza to them, right? But like Afroman said, it is disrespectful to some people. That's the truth. So anyways, he issued the apology, man. A lot of people are saying, oh, he got scared or he did it because he knew better. Knew better about what? No one's going to do nothing to that man over a fucking simple statement. There's people that do a lot worse, and the people that do a lot worse look just like you. That's just the truth, man. You know, when I sit here and I see blacks and browns arguing in the comments talking about we started this or we started that or you copied us or you stole our culture or you stole that, man, you need to worry about people stealing your soul, snatching your soul and stealing your life. Who shot Offset? Wasn't Mexican. Who shot King Von? Wasn't Mexican. Who told on Pooh Shiesty? Wasn't a Mexican, right? And Mexicanos are the same thing. Who killed your homeboy from your barrio? Wasn't a brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Who put the Cesar Chavez story out there? Wasn't a brother, man. Right? Who fought for equal rights for all people? Now, that was a brother, man. That's why I respect every culture, everyone, man. We've all been through some bullshit together, and it's time for us to really focus on what's positive and not negative, man. I accept Afroman's apology, like I said. I think he rethought it, and maybe just maybe, man, he was getting some backlash, and he's like, fuck that, man, you know, it ain't worth it because look, I'm gonna tell you, Southern California Mexicans are thick, man, and they do roll hard, and there was a lot of people that were feeling some type of way. You know, I think it was all good. If you feel some type of way about Lefty Gunplay and you feel he don't deserve a Grammy, that's cool, man. And it's not because he's brown, it's because he's fucking ain't got that much talent when it comes to rapping. He's getting better, right? In fact, I hear he has something coming out with Pace, so we'll see. But if you feel that way because he's brown, you got issues and problems. You should be happy anytime a black man or a brown man prospers in this world because we get very few chances and opportunity. You know, we're making opportunity. And when, you know, if you really get down to the gist of all this shit, you know, that was a brother, Kendrick Lamar, that created and gave Lefty Gunplay an opportunity. That was black and brown working in unison. And look how powerful that was. And look where it got him. On stage, man, at a predominantly white show, showing the world, man, that black and brown come together, everything is possible and anything is possible. Anyways, with that being said, man, like I said, this man apologized. If you take it for a grain of salt, it is what it is. I'm just trying to spit some knowledge you can't get in college, man. I don't give up game, but I give game, right? This is just my personal feelings, how I feel. This video is probably not even going to do a lot of views because people want to see the drama and the bullshit and the black versus black and the brown versus black and the brown versus brown and all that. At the end of the day, that's cool. That's part of life too, all the drama. But hey, we could do with a lot less of it, even better. Anyways, with that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Afroman did it because he was getting so much backlash, or do you think he truly, really means that he got love for everybody? Let me know. This video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Central Valley in the Turlock area, make sure you pull up to the Barrio and get you something icy, something cold to drink. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Tucson, Arizona. If you're in the Tucson area and you need yard work, make sure that you Google and look up Sticks and Stones Yard Service, and let's support our small local Raza community businesses. Also, let's support all small businesses. I always say Raza because I'm always going to be brown. Hey, Spencer, I was just fucking born that way. But support everyone. This is the gun. Bang, bang, and shout out to Afroman.